Today, in the name of the God, the most merciful, the most gracious, I invite Azim Alphonse and Hafiz Said to please recite from the holy books. Thank you.
The scripture reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 31 to 46. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invited you in, or needing clothes and clothed you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison and you did not look after me." They also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you?" He will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. This is what the word of God says. Amen.
Hafiz Said. Yeah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والصابئين والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. صدق الله العظيم. Translation. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Indeed, those who believed and those who were Jews or Christians or Sabi'in before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those among them who believed in Allah and the last day and did righteousness, will have their reward with their Lord, and no fear will there be concerning them, nor will they grieve. Allah always says the truth. Sadaqallahu.
And thank you so much again. And we continue in this next, I think we will proceed with our welcoming our new faculty that have joined us. Like I said, we have 24 full-time faculty and 17 new faculty joined in 2020, which haven't been introduced to the rest of us. So we would love to see and hear you. I'm going to call out your name one by one with the department, so that will save time. And then please tell us one fun maybe a personal fact about you that you don't mind sharing with us. So the first one in the list in front of me is Dr. Naveed Rehan from English department.
Hello, good morning. Well, one thing I can say about myself is that I'm interested in organic vegetable gardening.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Burhanul Haq, mathematics. I don't think he's here.
Are you listening? Everyone listening?
Yes, yes, please. Yes, Burhan.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. So, well, I would like to tell everyone about my obsession with cricket. So it's really hard for me to express how much of my time in my life I've spent while watching cricket matches. So that's the major fact about me, which I would like to tell everyone today.
Great, great to know there's a cricketer with us. But do you play cricket? No. Okay, he's muted now. Okay, look forward to more discussions about cricket, perhaps. Dr. Usman Akhtar, pharmacy.
So good morning, everyone. Can you listen?
Yes.
So good morning, everyone. So I used to come to FC College for swimming. So I love to swim, and I also win many many inter-university championship during swimming and in water polo.
Excellent. Good to know. Dr. Waqar Mustafa, another one in pharmacy. Yes, please.
Morning, everybody. I hope all of you can listen me well.
Yes.
There are two things about me. I love to travel and I love to taste new foods. So sometimes it happens that I travel to a faraway place just to try something new which they serve there. So I think that is something interesting which I wanted to share.
Good. So you have the wanderlust in you. Great to know. So the next one, political science, Dr. Sayyid Rashid Munir.
Yes, hello everyone. I do research on security cooperation between major powers and minor states, and in my spare time, I like to tinker with single-board computers.
Okay, good. So now we go on to Mubina Sayyid Shafkat in the Writing and Communication program. You have been a visiting faculty since 2019 and now regularized. I see the Sayyid Shafkat, so you have, Dr. Sayyid Shafkat on the campus. Welcome, yes. Mubina?
Ma'am, Miss Mubina has not joined yet.
Okay, so we'll move on to Fahad Aftab. He has been here with us a long time as a regular faculty, left for a year, joined back again. Happy to see you back, Fahad, in the Writing and Communication program, but we would love to see and hear you.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. I'm Fahad, that's it, and I'm a new faculty member.
That's the fun fact about you, right?
And I'll nail something tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, then we go on to Andrew John. Another, he has been a CFO at FC a long time, so we all know him actually. But now he's joined as a full-time faculty in business department. Andrew John, something personal about yourself. I would love to know that too.
Ma'am, I think something personal about me is that during this pandemic, I've learned to cook, and I can say that I'm a reasonably good cook. So that's an interesting thing I think about me.
Great. We are not going to take your word for it till we taste it. Okay, Ms. Misbah Habib, she has joined us in business. Misbah?
Good morning, everyone. So my diet while the pandemic has been crazy. I spend most of my time making variety of wholesome salads with a side dish of French fries to lose some extra fats.
So you're doing the right thing. You're losing on one side and you're gaining on the other. I think we'll all be doing that. Okay, the other one is a tough name to pronounce, Jadaun Aslam. He has been with me as a work study student and I could never get his name right. So Jadaun, welcome to the computer science department. Did I get your name right?
Ma'am, Jadaun is also not here.
Oh, I see. Shazia Ilyas in environmental sciences. Dr. Shazia. No. We'll move on to
sorry, Ma'am Shazia, please unmute yourself.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Actually, I love traveling and I love to meet people from different cultures. But I would say in 2020, I just restricted myself to just Lahore. So that's the fact. Thank you.
So you are having a hard time, I'm sure. Anyway, the next one is Ms. Sadia Abdul Khalik from Physical Education. Ji Sadia.
Ma'am, she is also not trying yet.
Okay. So we'll invite Ms. Saba Iqbal, who is joined in mathematics.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to mention something funny about myself. So it was in 2017 when I joined FCC as part of visiting faculty. And in my initial days, during my lunch break, I went to Lucas Cafe for a cup of tea. A senior professor from another department very politely told me to leave the cafe as it was meant for the faculty and not for the students. Now that I'm part of the regular faculty over here, I still feel insecure when visiting the cafe alone. So when you find me in the cafe along with someone else, you know why I don't take my tea alone.
Okay, but that should make you feel good. Women always like to look younger. Okay, going on to Ms. Afshi Yahya. She is joined in psychology.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
An interesting thing about myself is that I never wanted to be a teacher. However, somehow I ended up to be one and starting loving this profession.
Yeah, I am sure. It happens with a lot of us. Going on to Mustansar Etazaz Amjad. So you have got two names, Mr. Mustansar, instead of Tarar, you are Amjad Islam Aslam combination. So are you into poetry and writing from statistics department? Yes, Mustansar?
Anji, he's here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to travel in northern areas and I am a good food lover. And it's interesting about me. I am just curious to, you can say, learn new things and taste new foods from different regions of Pakistan.
Good. And the last one on our list is Dr. Iram Salim in Statistics Department.
Greetings to all of you. I enjoy being around children and avoid a swear environment. I try my best to fulfill all the commitments allotted with all my heart and my strength. Thank you.
Okay, great to know all of you. And I can assure you that you have joined a remarkable community of faculty that are all here. And in due time, you'll get to know them better. I would now like to invite Dr. Douglas Trimble, our new Vice Rector, the academic leader at FCC with us, and he will explain what is happening in fall. Dr. Douglas Trimble, over to you.
Suleiman, did I see that there are other people that have joined that can introduce themselves?
Sorry, sir. What did you say?
I was wondering, I think I saw your hand indicating that maybe there were some others that would introduce themselves.
Sir, Dr. Rabia Chaudhary has just joined. She is also available here, so she has not spoken yet.
Okay. Okay, over to Rabia. Rabia, could you please say one fun or personal thing about you? It doesn't have to be fun necessarily. And you've joined Center of Public Policy.
Dr. Rabia, please unmute yourself.
Gee, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Gee, my name is Rabia. I mean, the only interesting thing about me is that I was a student at CPPG, one of the first 2 batches, and now I'm back as a faculty member. So, I mean, I think that's it.
And ma'am, Mr. Jadaun is also joined.
Jadaun, over to you. You've joined the computer science. Gee, I just wondered if I had taken your name right, Jadaun. It took me a year and I couldn't do that while you were my work study student.
Yeah, you're close to calling it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I am a Formanite. I was from the 2012 to 16 batch. So one trait would be that I am a quick learner and I adapt to new environments and new settings, new technologies very easily. So that would be one fact about me.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. You are a very good learner. So you taught me a thing or two as well. So over to you, Dr. Trimble.
Thank you very much. Mr. Suleiman, can you make it possible for me to share my screen?
Yes, sir, you can share your screen.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. It's with great pleasure that I greet you. My name is Dr. Trimble. I'm the new Vice Rector for Academic Affairs. I was here in FC College from 2008 until 2013 as Director of Assessment and Institutional Research. And you can see this picture of my family. My son, Calvin, my daughter Anna, and my daughter Kate were just in school at the time, very young. And those were wonderful years. I was able to establish what is now the QEC, Quality Enhancement Cell. In 2013, I needed to return to the States. My father was suffering from dementia and I needed to help care for him. He has now passed away. And my children are now old and are older and are now, and is now opportunity for me to return. And so it's with great pleasure that I come back. My son is now on the right with his wife. He is an engineer in Raleigh, North Carolina. My daughters are now in university. And so it is just my wife, Margie, and me who have returned. I am so pleased to be able to come back to FC College. This is an institution that is dear to my heart. I believe strongly in its, in the way that it conducts liberal arts education. I believe that liberal arts prepares our students not only for lives of contribution to the marketplace and their major, but also to be good citizens, to be people who, please excuse me, people who can contribute to society and make a deep impact. Another thing that I am excited about returning to FC College is the impact that the university can have on research. The country has many needs And we are strategically poised to be a center for entrepreneurship, to be a center for research, and an opportunity to develop the country. Thirdly, I believe strongly in the motto of FC College: by love, serve one another. This is a noble cause. And finally, I feel a deep sense of God's call to come to FC College. I have prayed about this opportunity and have seen God opening the opportunity to return. And for this, I'm very grateful. As you know, I am returning at a time when there is great challenges in higher education across the globe. Universities had to close in the spring and to go online. And I know this was a great challenge, and I've heard good things about how you as a university were able to do this and do this effectively. Excuse me. A survey was done at the end of the semester to find out how the experience was for you as faculty. And we had a strong response from the faculty on this survey. A parallel survey was done of students as well to see their perceptions, and we had a very strong response. One of the things that we see from the survey is that your workload was significantly increased because of the needing to go online. And I just want to say that we acknowledge that. We thank you for the diligent effort that you put into shifting your classes rapidly, unexpectedly, from in-person to fully online. This was not easy to do, and we applaud you for the very hard work that you did shifting to fully online engagement. We asked you about the amount of interaction you had with your students. The next slide will talk about the quality of the interaction, but this is specifically about the amount of interaction. And it was evenly divided between it being about the same, it being worse, and it being better. However, this contrasts when we ask the students the same question about the amount of their interaction with you. And almost 2/3 of the students said that they had less interaction with you. And so we see a disconnect between faculty perceptions and student perceptions in the amount of interaction. Similarly, we asked about the quality of the interaction. The previous slide was about the amount of interaction. This slide is about the quality. 49% of faculty said that it was about the same. 21% said that it was worse, but more said, 30% said that it was actually improved the quality of the interaction. And so this is a good thing to hear. However, this was not the perception of the students. Only 10% said that it was better, and 56% said that it was worse. We asked you about your perceptions of students' preparation and commitment during the online experience. And about 52% said that it was about the same. 30% said that it was worse for your students. this matches very closely with student perceptions of faculty preparation and commitment to teaching the material. Almost exactly the same numbers here. Some saying that it was better, some saying that it was worse. Most were saying that it was about the same. So we see a match in perception. We asked you about your overall satisfaction with the semester compared to prior semesters. And 49% that said it was about the same, but 37% said that it was difficult. It was affected your overall satisfaction. And I completely understand this because of the new things that you had to do, the new technologies you had to use, the new pedagogies you had to implement. And so anytime that there's increased workload, certainly this makes it difficult on all involved. We asked students about their comprehension, and this is the most important slide because ultimately we are about achieving learning outcomes. Are the students able to learn the material and achieve the outcomes that we have for them? 50% said that their online experience caused their comprehension to be worse than it was in face-to-face or person-to-person interaction. 39 said that it was about the same, and so that is good, but we would want this proportion to be as high as possible. So as we were considering options for the fall, we were taking into account specifically this piece of feedback that comprehension was worse. We considered a number of options as we looked at the fall. One was to, one is the most desirable, obviously, to be fully in person, to be back to normal. And I think most of us were hoping in the spring that by the fall, we would be able to be back to normal. Unfortunately, this is not possible to, if we are going to follow the SOPs that the government has communicated clearly. Having a full strength of students is not possible at this time. The other option that some of our peer institutions have used is fully online, as we did in the end of the spring semester. I acknowledge that it is more difficult than in person, and we saw that workload and satisfaction were affected. Fully online, however, would be easier than blended learning, because blended learning requires significant issues that we'll be talking about during this retreat. And this retreat, as well as the comprehensive guide that Dr. Roxana has constructed, are designed specifically to help you with the acknowledging that it would be certainly easier to be fully in person, certainly easy to be fully online, but we need to listen, we need to understand that human interaction is vital, that students are yearning for their interaction with their faculty members and with their peers. And that fully online is not optimal for student learning. We had serious concerns about student comprehension after in the fully online environment. And so that is why we have opted for a blended approach. As you know, as we have communicated, the student body, some of them will be on campus for the first 2 weeks. Those with odd ID numbers will be here first. And those who have even ID numbers will be studying remotely. After 2 weeks, then this will switch, and those with even ID numbers will be allowed on campus, and those with odd ID numbers will be studying remotely. I do need to mention here that some students will always be on campus, the Hostelite students, for example. And some students will always be off campus. Those who have been given permission by the VRO to be off campus usually for medical reasons, that is the case. And so this poses an issue of, we have students sitting in front of us, we have students who are learning remotely, we have students that are, because of connectivity issue, not able to be live streaming the lesson. And so therefore have to be taught in an asynchronous manner. That's why if fully online is easier, because we just have one way of presenting the material. But blended requires this, the challenge of these different constituencies, those who are with us in person, those who are live streaming, and those who are asynchronous. The advantage of blended learning is, even though it has the challenges, it does allow for us to be in person, to reduce the strength of the student body, to have that human interaction that is vital for effective, oh, please excuse me, that allows for a human interaction. Now, this will require creativity and effort on your part to be able to think how to communicate the learning outcomes effectively to your students with these challenges. Anytime that there are situations of uncertainty, this causes stress and anxiety. And for many of you, I know that that might be an emotion that you're experiencing right now, thinking, how can I do this effectively? And I do want to acknowledge that there are issues of stress that are promoted anytime that there are changes and uncertainty. And so the goal of this retreat is to help build your skills, to build the skills necessary to be able to provide this instruction. And with those skills, then hopefully you'll feel more confident when we begin classes. On a final note, I want to say that it is important for us to wear masks. And there are wrong ways to wear masks and there are right ways to wear masks. And as I like to say, the nose knows if it is covered. And so the nose must be covered. What I would encourage you to do is to model proper mask wearing for your students. So they see you wearing the mask, specifically over the nose, when you are in the classroom. And I know that teaching with a mask will be very difficult in terms of being comprehended by the students, being heard by students online. But it is absolutely essential that the mask remain on during the lesson. If you are in your office with students or colleagues, please wear the mask at all times. As you are walking about campus, as you are walking about the building, make sure that you have your mask on. What we are trying to do is build a culture of mask wearing so that people see this as normative and expected and acceptable. Require this when students enter class, require them to keep it on during the entire class. If we see students who are coming and going, please take the initiative to speak to them and tell them to put their mask on and to do it properly. It is not only the responsibility of security guards or proctors, it is all of our responsibility when we see somebody not wearing a mask to have it put on. We need to do this because we do not want an outbreak of COVID on our campus. And the number one way that we can do this is by wearing a mask. We do not want to be shut down by the government. We don't want them to visit campus and see our students not wearing masks. And so in the effort to remain open, let's do everything we can to promote mask wearing and to do it the right way over the nose. Thank you. I look forward to working with each of you this semester, to getting to know you. And thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself.
Thank you, Dr. Trimble. Thank you for your personal introduction. I forgot to say that you have joined us anew, and we were happy to hear that you're back with us, and I have been with you while you were here before, like many of us. So delighted to have you back. Look forward to working with you. But I must say your cough is getting bad, so you really need to take care of that. I do not know, listening to you, I wonder what faculty are thinking. Has the anxiety increased or is it decreased? I dare not ask them right now, but I think we'll continue with our session. At least we know what the challenge is, and acknowledging the challenge before will make it probably easier to know how to tackle it. And I'll just, I think, move on to how the schedule is laid out for the day before I go on to the next segment. Very quickly, I'll run you. You do see it on the side, but I'm going to share the schedule with you. So far, I think only 150 or 160 of you visited the site, at least as of morning. And we were getting frantic phone calls and emails at the last moment yesterday and today in the morning about the Zoom link. And that made me realize that, yes, that we do not necessarily look up our emails the way we should. And so we hurriedly sent you some additional information. But you also are very busy in other things, and I guess that's it's not necessary that you will be able to check everything that comes your way. But I see that I think all of you have joined. We have some 260, I think, if I'm not wrong, with us, 258 participants. That's the whole faculty body. As Dr. Trimble has explained, the retreat is around a theme. Like every time, we always have a theme. So it's built around a theme. And we are trying to make sure that you understand all the three, how to conduct your sessions for three categories of students without learning loss. And that is the challenge that we will all be struggling with. Just to say, you have done in-person and asynchronous teaching with Moodle. You have already done online teaching, and you have done it fairly well. There are many reasons why students weren't just, like we know that they love socializing, they love peer-to-peer interaction, like Dr. Trimble said. And so perhaps that's what they're missing, and that colors their their answers on the faculty, their survey. But nevertheless, as you can see, we have tried to pick up the key issues that we think we would face about this teaching, model of teaching. And the topics were actually decided by the Dean's Council, and they matched with the feedback you gave us in spring and summer. These were exactly the sessions you wanted repeated. And so here they are, with the twist that there are three categories of students we'll be catering to. I would also like to add here that when we planned the faculty retreat, our focus is faculty, showcasing our remarkable faculty and hearing them and listen to what they're doing. We also bring in students to listen to their narratives about their experience. And then we make sure that the address by the rector, the dean's panel, the session on the academic admin departments, that provides the bigger context and helps us locate the academics within that context. So it clears up the big picture for us and gives us more clarity. And more importantly, I think you must have noticed, and a lot of have said it to me repeatedly, like it or not, coming to the retreat, you love seeing each other, you love talking to each other, and you love bonding with each other. So that's the FCC community for us. If you want to sort of find details of courses, I'll just click on one, and you will see that the session descriptions, I'm sorry, the session descriptions, and the bio of the person is just a click away, the resource person. And this time we are very lucky to have Mahabali. She's an international expert and you'll really enjoy her talk. And going back to the schedule, I'll this time also quickly point out the resources we have on the website for you. We started putting up these resources very quickly with online learning, and like you, we wanted to help you with your anxiety and workload. We understood that in this crisis teaching, you wouldn't have time to sort of look for other resources, look at literature, look at the best practices out there. So we hurriedly, picked up the best resources out there. We started working on at CLT, of making briefs for you. And as you know, if you see on this website, they're all done differently. Here is the faculty retreat, some of our other, but then here are the general resources. You can see the overview. I'll quickly go through one. And as you can see here is this guide for fall, right here. And then there are these lab resources, virtual labs, and some external resources, and our responses to COVID at FCC. So all the policies are here. There are these tools. These tools will be very, very helpful. Please go through them. We have actually made 3 different categories of these tools. And the latest one that we have done now hardly has some 12 tools for instruction and assessments that are very easy to use. We'll be using some in this retreat as well. And they were it will help you become more creative in your teaching. And then there's the course design, instructional strategies, assessment strategies. Cheating, we thought, needed a separate section. And of course, how could we forget self-care development and student care? I think as the anxiety increases, the need for grounding ourselves becomes even stronger. And here is then CLT in review. Just to say that there have been, since we launched it in May, there have been some 3,500 hits on the site, of which 1,300 were unique viewers. So that means many have used these resources many times. And 600 were from outside Pakistan, with mostly 400 being from USA. I wonder if that's our expat community out there still keeping in touch with us.